let's have a look at a multi-step equation with variables on both sides that also uses fractions. Now, as with many algebra problems, there are lots of ways you could solve this, so I can't say that this video is the only way you could possibly approach the problem. If you prefer to do some of the steps slightly differently, that's perfectly fine, as long as you get the correct answer. So, for me, my first step when solving this problem is going to be to use the distributive property. Now, this is not completely necessary. Like I mentioned, it's just what I'm going to do for this particular problem. So when we use the distributive property, let's see, 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 2 is 4, so we have 9 over 4a. And for the second arrow, 3 times, well, I'm not going to say 3 times 1. I know it's only 3, but I notice there's a 3 in the top and the 3 in the bottom, and that's going to cancel. So the 3's cancel, meaning that 3 halves times 1/3 is 1/2. That's all I'm going to do at the first step. I'm just going to rewrite the rest of the equation. There's nothing else I can really do here. Now, for the second step, I don't like the fact that there's all of these fractions. I don't like fractions any more than you do. So rather than just approaching this like a normal equation and moving things from one side to the other in order to get the variable by itself, what I would like to do is make all of the fractions go away. And I can do that if I multiply by the LCM, the least common multiple, of all of the denominators. And that's the reason I used the distributive property first. I wanted to clearly see what all of the fractions were. So my denominators are 4, 2, and 6. Well, the LCM of 4, 2, and 6 is 12. So if I multiply by 12 on both sides of the equation, all of the fractions will go away. So use this large set of parentheses for emphasis, and I'm going to do that on both sides. So since I drew this underneath, there's some arrows to indicate the distributive property, and I'm going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. So I'm multiplying by 12. All right, well, I need to multiply 12 times 9/4. Remember, we're doing this to get rid of the fraction, so hopefully something cancels. Well, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and that 3 times 9 is 27. So we have 27a, and then 12 times 1/2 is 6. On the other side, 12 and 6 cancels, giving me a 2, and then 73 times 2 is 146, but that's negative. So negative 146, and then finally, 12 divided by 2 is 6, 6 times 5 is 30, and that's also negative. So minus 30a. So now we have a multi-step equation still, but at least we don't have any fractions. So what I'm going to do is add 30a to both sides. That's going to give us 57a. At the same time, if you want to go ahead and subtract 6 from both sides, that's not too many steps at once, so we'll go ahead and do that. That's negative 152. And now let's divide by 57 on both sides. So a equals negative 152 over 57. Of course, we need to simplify our fraction, which we can do by hand. However, I'm making this video at 6:30 in the morning. Let's review a calculator skill. If you did not know, your Inspire calculator will simplify fractions for you. So if you're doing your math homework at 6:30 in the morning like I am, I can speed you up just a little bit. So our fraction is 152 over 57. All I have to do is type that, 152 over 57. We see it simplifies to 8/3. So the answer to our question is A is negative 8/3. Anyway, Hope this video helped. See you next time.